What is up, guys? Misha here from Beyond the Huddle, and welcome to this week's weekly altcoin forecast. As always, we'll start with taking a look at Bitcoin. We'll review what Ralphie said yesterday on Bitcoin and kind of see how price has been developing based on the levels that he mentioned in that video. And then after that, we'll be taking a look at Ethereum, and then we'll be taking a look at 1inch, and I'll be bringing the Twitter thread on so I can show you guys how we've been thinking about the trade as things are developing. And again, if you guys are not following us on Twitter yet, make sure you do so at Beyond the Huddle, because we do update you guys on whatever we post in the videos every single week. We update you guys on Twitter on the thread so you guys can keep track of how things are developing. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and let's jump right into the video. All right, guys, now we are taking a look at Bitcoin. And first things first, we'll take a look at the COT. As Ralphie mentioned yesterday, massive increase in longs, over, I think, about 900 contracts in longs, and over 800 contracts in shorts have been added. As you guys can see, shorts above average, but the longs have increased massively, which has then massively increased the net position. So as you guys can see, this is the largest net position that the asset managers have ever had on Bitcoin. And based on that, we would think that the market would be going higher if we're assuming that the smart money is on the right side of the market. So let's go ahead and take a look at the actual price. As you guys can see, we had made a new all-time high 2 weeks ago. Price had rejected off of that and started going lower. But now we were looking at different levels, and this was one of our levels that we had mentioned right here. That was the daily demand. Price as rejected off of that went higher. And we had the weekly level and the monthly level right here. So a short-term and a long-term level that Ralphie mentioned yesterday. And when he made the video, we were kind of stuck in between these two levels. But now we're clearly above not only the monthly long-term level, but we're also above the weekly short-term level, which is very good. So from last week, we had this daily supply that got users resistance. Then we have this demand zone right here, which barely missed right here. User support, we went up, came back down into this newfound daily demand right here. And now we are headed to the upside. So definitely bullish on Bitcoin, guys. Like Ralphie said yesterday, we wanted to see which one of these two levels was going to get broken. If we were to break that monthly longer term level, then we would probably expect prices to come down into a deeper discount of this entire range from swing low to swing high. But because we have now been able to break that, and now we're breaking above this short-term weekly level, now we're expecting prices to expand to the upside, targeting this new all-time high that was made about 2 weeks ago. So looking at it on lower time frame, you guys can see that not only are we above these two levels, we're also above the weekly open, the monthly open, and obviously the quarterly open, which is way down. So as long as we stay above these levels, so now that we're above this level, this level and these opens right here now become our support. So if price starts to retrace as it is doing right here, we want to make sure that price stays above these two levels and uses them as support before making a move higher, or price might literally just keep on sliding to the upside. But the main idea here is we are definitely bullish, not only based on what the smart money is doing, but also based on what we're seeing on the chart. So that's going to be it for Bitcoin, guys. Definitely bullish. And then now we're going to be taking a look at some of the altcoins. All right, guys, now that we've taken a look at Bitcoin and we have identified that Bitcoin is actually bullish, now the key is to figure out whether we should be in on Bitcoin or are we better off being in on altcoin. So to answer that question, let's take a look at our indexes, and you guys can see that the total market cap is definitely making a new all-time high this week. It's peaking its head above the all-time high that was made about 2 weeks ago. But now when we look at total 2 divided by BTC USDT to see, okay, if the market cap, the total market cap is making new highs, are we better off being in on altcoins or on Bitcoin? And as you guys can see from the last video, we have marked out a couple levels, not just the last video, the past couple videos. We've been paying attention to this monthly demand right here. As you guys can see, last month just closed. We have rejected off of that monthly demand, the open and the equilibrium price point. Then when we go down into the weekly time frame, you guys can see that it was a discount, swing low, swing high, discount. Then we were looking at the daily time frame, and we had this daily demand right here that never actually ended up getting hit, so we can get rid of that. and we can also get rid of this level right here. So now we're simply looking at the midpoint of that monthly demand. Now, another level that we're paying very close attention to is this weekly open right here. This is the open from 3 weeks ago. And we were talking about how this level was being used as resistance and how last week we had finally broken above it. Now that we have broken above that level, we were literally targeting this quarterly open right here. So if we look at this as a swing high, swing low, that's a premium right here. That's the area that we would be targeting. And as you guys can see, we are slowly making our way up to that level. Now, dropping down into a daily time frame, what you guys will notice is there is a daily supply right here that lines up with this quarterly open. So we're going to mark out this daily supply right here. And also, we can see that we are above the monthly and the weekly open. And this is kind of stair-stepping its way, not even stair, it's grinding its way up. So what we're going to be looking at is what level do we not want to see get broken right here. And I will be looking at this daily demand right here. I would not want to see that level give way. So right now we are sitting right on the monthly and the weekly open right here, and price is kind of using it as support. That'd be great if that continues. But if we were to drop down below that, I would not want to see us go below this candle right here. If we do, then we're probably going to see prices drop a lot lower, which if that does happen, that means that you'd be better off being on buying Bitcoin than buying an altcoin. But as long as this stays bullish, again, on the day, Bitcoin, yes, Bitcoin is outperforming alt, but overall, for the past couple weeks, alts have been outperforming Bitcoin, which is one of the reasons why we were in on a couple alts, including Ethereum and 1inch. If you guys been following us on Twitter, you'd know which coins that we had been buying the past couple weeks. So make sure you guys do so. Follow us on Twitter at Beyond the Huddle so you can keep up to date with exactly how we're looking at the market. So right here, this is definitely still bullish, telling us that you are better off being in on an altcoin than on Bitcoin. Although on the day, again, on the day, Bitcoin is outperforming, but we would expect this candle to be just a retracement candle, just like these have been, and then for this to continue going higher up to that daily supply right here. So that's what I'm seeing on this Bitcoin/altcoin index, guys. So based on that, we're going to be taking a look at Ethereum, and we'll take a look at 1inch, and I'll show you guys what we were thinking and kind of why we got in on these positions, and how we're going to be handling these coins in the next couple days. So let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum first. Alright guys, right now we are looking at Ethereum Bitcoin, and if you guys saw the last video, we were talking about how we had rejected off of this daily demand that we have been talking about, and that was a sign that prices were most likely going to start going higher and Ethereum was going to start outperforming Bitcoin. So one of our targets from that bounce right here, we wanted to see prices go above this quarterly open right here, and we also had the daily supply. Those were the two resistance levels that we wanted to see price break above. And as you guys can see, price came up, we rejected off of it for a little bit, and then we tried going lower. And as we tried going lower, if we go down into a 4-hour time frame, you guys will see that we rejected off of it, tried to go lower, and then came back into what? Came back into this 4-hour demand right here, and we were unable to break that and go lower, and then price, boom, skyrocketed higher, and then now we are slowly retracing. So as we're retracing right here, what we want to see is we want to see these two levels right here get used as support. We don't want to see price go below them, and so far this has not happened. This is also now a daily demand right here, so we definitely don't want to see that get broken. And we have opened up this week, we went higher, now we're retracing. So if we go down into a 4-hour time frame, you guys will notice that not only do we have the weekly and the monthly open here, we also have a 4-hour demand right here, and that's the level that we're using as support. So we're pretty much stuck between the daily open and this 4-hour demand / weekly monthly open. So this is the little area that we're consolidating in. And if you guys look at how much Ethereum is up compared to how much Bitcoin is up, they're pretty similar percentages today, and that can be explained by seeing what's going on here. So not yet outperforming Bitcoin today, but overall, ever since the last video, we definitely have outperformed Bitcoin when we look at Ethereum. And you guys can clearly see that by looking at the fact that Ethereum is currently now making a new all-time high, while Bitcoin has not made a new all-time high yet since the one that was made 2 weeks ago. So definitely bullish on this chart as long as these levels actually hold. Now, what kind of levels are we targeting? Now we can be targeting this supply right here. That would be one of our targets, although we did use the low of that supply right here, but I would still target that. When this happens, I probably would not use them as entry points. So if that were to happen, for example, if we were to come back into this daily demand right here, that would not be someone would be looking for entry points. But as targets, this has been kind of been used already, but I would still target that. And then the next target, same thing here, would be this daily supply again. Kind of been used right here already, so but I would still target these two levels right here. And then obviously after that, we have the actual all-time high on Ethereum BTC. So that's pretty much what I'm seeing on Ethereum BTC. Things have been playing out exactly how we expected. We've broken above these levels, and now we want to see them being used as support. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the Ethereum USD price and see how that one is playing out. All right, guys, we are now looking at Ethereum USD, and based on what we had said last week, we were looking at prices having already used that demand zone as support right here. We never saw price drop down into these areas, so we can get rid of these two levels that we had right here. And price hit that level of demand right here. We rallied up, came back, hit it again, which I did mention that on Twitter. Yeah, sometime last week I did mention that on Twitter that we were hitting this daily demand right here, and that we were gunning for the all-time high, which we kind of peaked our head above that all-time high, and then we came back down into this demand again. We didn't actually hit the open, but again, it's this entire range right here from high down to the open. We came down into it, and now we are moving higher. So if we look at what just happened today, we have actually used the weekly open as support. And we'll look at this, and also the weekly open was lining up with this 4-hour demand right here, and price has been going higher. So as long as we stay above the weekly and the monthly open, I would expect higher prices. And one thing that I did mention a couple videos ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, I was saying that when looking at our fib extensions from the last discount that was hit on the daily time frame, you guys remember that I had mentioned how Ethereum was not hitting its extensions yet, while Bitcoin was already hitting its extensions. But now that Ethereum is breaking above the all-time high, we're very close to our -27 extension here at 46,620. And then the next target after that would be 5,500 basically, because it's 5,499. So basically 5,500. $5,500, that would be the next target for Ethereum. And that is kind of how I get my targets once price goes above the all-time high and we begin the price discovery stage. I use my fib extensions to kind of have an idea of where price is most likely headed. Again, these things are not perfect. Fibonacci is basically a math formula, so there's no guarantee that prices are going to hit those levels, but these are actually good to have an idea of where prices could potentially reach and where we could start to see some type of a pullback. So that's what I'm seeing on Ethereum at the moment. I'll actually put a horizontal line right here on this level right here, and we'll call this one target 2 right here. And that would be, I'm going to keep this on the chart, and then we'll see next week or maybe a couple weeks later if we do end up hitting this target. Now looking at this from a higher time frame perspective, guys, looking at it on a yearly time frame right here, you guys can see we're already up 507% on the year, going down into a quarterly. You guys can see we are up about 49.45% on the quarterly. So we can definitely see that this year Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin, and just like we saw on the previous segment when I was going over the Ethereum BTC, there's reason to believe that this trend will continue for this quarter. So Ethereum is definitely one that we are currently trading. We're currently holding some Ethereums, and we're definitely expecting higher prices on that one. And hopefully it keeps on outperforming Bitcoin, which is exactly what you want when we're trading altcoins. The whole point is to outperform Bitcoin, because if I'm in an altcoin who's not outperforming Bitcoin, then I would have been better off being in on Bitcoin. So it doesn't make sense to be in on that altcoin. So that's going to be it for Ethereum, guys. Now we're going to be taking a look at 1inch, and I'll kind of show you guys the Twitter thread first, so you guys can see exactly what we were thinking at the time and what we got in on the trade and what we expect to happen next. So let's go ahead and take a look at 1inch. All right, guys, right now we are looking at the Twitter thread that we made on 1inch, and we started this thread around the 23rd of October. As you guys can see, we got in on 1inch somewhere around the 20th of October. We were in on inch, ETH, and DOT, and we ended up moving all of the money from DOT into 1inch to kind of like make it more even between 1inch and Ethereum, because we believe that inch was a better buy than DOT, and obviously we still believed in Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin, so we wanted to hold on to that as well. So from there, that was October 20th, and then on the actual 23rd of October, we were talking about the yearly open discount right here on the inch Bitcoin chart. And as you guys can see, price had hit that yearly open, and now we were going higher, and we were above the monthly and the quarterly open. So that gave us more reasons to believe that inch was going to outperform Bitcoin. And then after that, you guys can see that we had another thread from the 29th of October. So that one started on the 27th. We were talking about this big move that happened right here. It was about a 40% candle on inch BTC, and you guys can see it on a lower time frame. It's crazy. It happened in one 5-minute candle. Pretty crazy move, guys. These are the type of moves that you probably only see those type of things in crypto. I mean, I don't think you see these things and very rarely in other markets, but in crypto, this is very common. So we were looking at one of our take profit targets, one of our targets right here, which was the $6 range that you guys can see. We were talking about how price had actually hit that. That was happening on the 27th of October. And then we went into still on the 27th. We were talking about how price had gone up 130% in one day, and it had actually hit our second target, which was the all-time high. It pretty much dinged it the all-time high right here. Sorry, and then that was the high of price. The new all-time high that was formed after breaking the original one right here. And after that, we showed you guys how this is the new important level right here, that $6 range. And we wanted to see prices go above that. If they do, we would see some fireworks. And again, this is on inch USDT. So now that you guys have seen kind of what we've been thinking throughout this inch trade right here, let's go ahead and take a look at the inch BTC chart. All right, guys, we are now looking at inch BTC. And as I showed you guys on the Twitter thread, we were looking at inch BTC hitting this yearly open right here and then starting to go higher. And as you guys can see, it was a massive move to the upside, but we also saw a massive retracement as well. So as this is retracing, what are we looking at? We're going down into a 3-day time frame right here, and we're looking at this 3-day demand right here. That's a level that we'll be paying attention to. Obviously, we are above the quarterly open right here, but we're also below the monthly and the weekly open. So the monthly and the weekly open right here are being used as resistance. And if inch is going to outperform Bitcoin, we're going to have to see prices go back above these levels right here. So that's the area that we're going to be paying attention to. But at the same time, we have to keep in mind that right here, we have this forward demand right here that's currently holding, which is a good sign for this to potentially go back above the monthly and the weekly open. So to the upside, what are we targeting? Obviously, we had a big wick right here. Usually when this happens, you have a big retracement, and this is probably going to be a second leg to the upside. So looking at it on a monthly time frame, we're probably targeting that wick right here that we had seen being hit. That's kind of what we would be targeting on this specific price chart right here, which is the BTC price. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the USDT price, which is where most of our targets was. Most of the action was on the USDT price. So I'll show you guys that. You guys get a more detailed analysis on that chart. All right, guys, we're now looking at inch USDT. And as you guys remember, we had this level right here based on what I just showed you guys on the Twitter thread. Right now, what we're currently looking at is this area right here, which is around the $5.20, $5.30-ish area. We had already gotten close to the all-time high right here. And we also went inside this weekly supply right here, which was one of our targets around the $6 area. And now if you drop down into a 3-day, you guys can see we have a 3-day demand right here, very similar to the BTC price. And that's what we're currently using as support. And then now we go down into a daily time frame. You guys can see there's also a daily demand down here. which we have also hit. So if I mark that one out, you guys can see it. But the most important thing here is that we stay above this monthly and weekly open, and then we break above this important level, this important range right here. If we're able to break above that, then as Ralphie mentioned on Twitter, we could very well see some fireworks on one inch, and prices could potentially go back up and then actually take out the all-time high, which we have not actually taken out right here. So that's what I'm seeing on one inch. If we drop down into our lower time frames, you guys can see right here that we have a 4-hour demand that is literally right around the monthly / weekly, which is also the daily open. So a bunch of opens stacked up around here. That would be a level that we want to see used as support, and then for prices to break above this specific range right here between the 523 to the 535, if that were to happen, then we can potentially see prices rally up and then break through the all-time high, which we would expect that to happen based on a lot of things happening with 1 inch. So the key level that we do not want to see get broken to the downside would be this cluster right here, because we have on a 3-day time frame, we have a 3-day demand right here, and then on the daily we have this down candle and that down candle right here. So this little area right here, we do not want to see that get broken. If it does, then we're probably going to see a deeper retracement towards this quarterly open. But if this holds, we would expect prices to go up to here, and then we want to see if this gets broken. If it does, we can get rid of this. That was the equilibrium of the weekly supply. We can get rid of this, and then we would be targeting another leg higher to the all-time high. So that's gonna be it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys got some value from this. If you did, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you can get notified every time we drop a new video. And with that said, guys, I will see you all next week, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter so you can stay up to date with how the market is developing, how we're thinking about everything. So make sure you do so. Subscribe, not subscribe, follow us on Twitter, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.